Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the State Bicycle Coreline Lavender Haze single-speed bike. State Bicycle is known for their affordability and accessibility. They offer a lot of bikes from geared bikes to fixies with really high quality components at a low price point and warranties to back them up. What we have here is probably their most popular lineup, the Coreline. These have a $400 price point, so very affordable, and a lot of fun variations or limited editions like the Wu-Tang Clan variation or the Lavender Haze that we have here. As far as specs, again, these retail for $399.99, and then you can do various upgrades such as pedal, lights, or saddle upgrades when you order them. These are a single-speed setup with a flip-flop hub, which means you can flip the hub and run it as a fixie, or leave it in the default position and have the freewheel. These are constructed with high-tensile steel frames, so it's one reason why they're a little bit cheaper and a little bit heavier, but very robust overall. These have caliper brakes and then deep V wheel set. It's a pretty attractive and stylish bike that's cheaper than most bikes you find on Craigslist. Again, these are direct to consumer, so you just order this and it comes directly to your door. Very easy to put together. You simply have to put on the handlebar, the front wheel, the saddle, and then the pedals. Just a couple bolts and very easy to put together. You can see here you put on the handlebar, you line up the front wheel, and then put the bolt on with the nut at the end. You don't really need any special tools with this, you just need the Allen wrench that's included. But I would recommend a torque wrench and then some Loctite to really assemble everything properly and make sure nothing moves. These have a simple caliper brake, so you don't have to worry about disc brakes rubbing. And then very simple flat plastic pedals. You can upgrade these when you order again. So if you have something you prefer, you can just pick the default or upgrade at the time of ordering. Everything goes together easily. You got to remember with the pedals, they are reverse threaded on the non-drive side. So you actually have to rotate it counterclockwise. Once you have everything put together, I highly recommend going with the torque wrench and torquing down the stem, the C-post clamp, and making sure everything's tight and adjusted properly before you start riding. Otherwise, very simple. Again, you can easily do this at home. It takes about 20-30 minutes, and the hardest part is taking all that protective material off. The Coreline bikes have a classic dual triangle setup, so it gives you a nice upright riding position and a short wheelbase. We have the Lavender Haze variation, which has this really nice black accent color on all the accessories, and then this bright lavender color on the frame. State Bicycle offers almost 8 other color variations, so you can really find the one that matches your style. They have everything from the classic navy and cream to a black and yellow for the Wu-Tang limited edition. You can see it's a steel frame, so you have nice weld marks and very thin tubing all the way around. The wheel set on here are 40mm thick, deep V setup, so a really stylish design with basic State Bicycle logos on there. And then unbranded caliper brakes, which is what you expect at this price point. So a lot of the parts here are unbranded or branded with the State Bicycle. The handlebars are a riser setup if you don't upgrade them. So you can see a little bit of a rise to them, very comfortable ride. And we have upgraded the grips from the one that came with it as they're very thin. You have cool details like the Explorer State stem cap, which give it a little bit more premium flair and more of a boutique feel. You have external cable routing for the rear brake that runs along the flat top tube, little mounting points for a rear fender, and then one bottle cage setup on your down tube. You can see almost no branding on the down tube itself, so it's nice solid color. You know, add stickers or customize that to your preference. The saddle, we also upgraded. The stock one is pretty thin and basic, but it has a nice C-clamp setup with a round tube design, so you can easily swap this out. We swapped it out for a Velo Senso, but you can choose whichever one you prefer. The rear also has the rear brake caliper, and you can see nice simple welding. Really clean setup that looks nice given the low price point. There isn't that much more space to go wide around the tires. As you can see, they're pretty close to the frame, but you could probably go up a little bit higher than the 700 by 28 or 30 setup. The best part of this bike is the single speed drivetrain though. Very simple single cog on the rear, which you can actually flip if you want a freewheel, or you can run a fixie where you can pedal backwards. So very easy to adjust. We've also upgraded the pedals here, and you can see on the back side again, very clean weld marks and simple design. So we don't have the kickstand, but you can also add that as an optional accessory. But overall, pretty stylish bike, especially given the low price point. As far as riding the bike, it's a really fun bike to ride. You have a short wheelbase and a very upright position. So you get that classic commuter style bike. It's very easy to get around trails with or dodge people if you're riding on a busy bike trail. The bike itself is fairly lightweight at about 27 pounds for our configuration. So it's something you can easily carry onto a train or bus And because it is a pretty cheap bike, it's very easy to park anywhere. You can just lock it up. You don't have to worry about it getting scratched like a fancier carbon bike. So overall, really fun bike. You have the nice caliper brakes, which give you great performance, so you can brake quickly. And because it's a single speed, it's very efficient. You don't have to worry about gears falling off or chain issues. That's just something you have to grease every once in a while and then just enjoy riding. We would have preferred a belt drive like the Priority bikes, but obviously that would push the price point a lot higher than the $400 price. So this bike, you get a lot of value, and it's very stylish too. It does not look like a $400 bike. With all these nice color schemes, they look like a much higher end boutique bike, but it's still something that costs less than a fixie bike you would find on Craigslist. The bike itself is pretty fun to ride too. Because it is single speed, that means you can't do a lot of climbing, so you want to be careful where you ride. It's a lot more fun to ride on flatter or rolly terrain. You can take it on hills, but you just have to be prepared to get on the saddle and be prepped for it. You have dual brakes on here with the front and rear, which is really nice. And then the water bottle mount, so you're ready to go pretty much right out of the box. They also include the rear fender attachment point, which is a really nice feature, so you can put fenders or a rack on there if you want to make this a commuter. And it's a pretty versatile bike as well. With the upright geometry, it's comfortable, so it can fit a wide variety of riders. And with all the different color schemes, you can really personalize this to your exact style. And we're also impressed with the lack of branding. The branding that's on there makes it look nice, and it's not really in your face, so you can easily upgrade it or just leave it as is for the nice clean look. So overall, impressed with it. It's responsive, it's fun. Obviously, it's not a big climber or something you do really long commutes, especially if you have a lot of varying terrain. But for everything else in between, or for just a fun extra bike that won't empty your bank account, there's a really great choice, and it's easy to see why the Coreline is a popular lineup. Now let's go over the scorecard for the State Bicycle Coreline bike. We're going to grade it on 4 different categories: design, components, handling, and value. For design, give it an A. It's a very clean and simple setup. You have your traditional dual triangle setup, a flat top tube, a lot of fun color choices to choose from. Components, be A-. You have a lot of non-branded parts, which is what you expect at this price point, but a nice flip-flop hub and a riser bar that all feel like they're high quality. The only things we'd recommend updating are the pedal, saddle, and the grips, just to give it a little bit more comfort and to suit your style. For handling, we give it an A. It's responsive and nimble. You have the short wheelbase, so it's really easy to get around town or do commuting with. So for value, we'd also give that an A. It's a fun and affordable bike. At $400, it costs less than a lot of the handlebars or accessories for higher end bikes, so it's a really fun bike just to ride around with. It's easy to maintain and has more modern components like the caliper brakes and the simple stem. So a great bike if you're looking for a commuter, an extra bike, or something to do some urban riding with. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at The Sweet Cyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.